Eddie? Morning, gang. What's up? Dude, we're just vibing tonight. Figured we'd talk about some weird shit, you know, stuff that's tough, mental illness. Just gotta normalize some of that shit a little bit, you know. Make it easier to do life without having to freak out about stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get some picking on tonight. We're gonna pick them and stick them. It's gonna be great. You guys should totally hang out. I would love to answer any questions you have about mental illness. Ooh, let's talk about the Bible and how much sense it makes. Eddie, don't get me started. I've started so much on that topic. People always love it. The people that hang out a lot, they know it was the funniest thing, man. Somebody was like trying to get me going, and then somebody commented, incoming rant. It was so good. I was like, yep, incoming rant, bitches. Let's go. But what were we talking about? I was gonna, damn, you got me all distracted now. Somebody remind me what I was talking about. Thank you, young Kisser. Thank you. I have little waves of stress every now and then that hit me. Like I'll be doing my thing. Yo, I love you too, brother. I don't know, and it's not like I live some like luxurious lifestyle or anything. I did a whole bunch of videos yesterday in a robe and a gold chain. The gold chain was plastic. It was one of the kids' chains. I was just like fucking around wearing it in a robe, and I was like, I'm gonna go make some videos and answer questions. I don't know. So it's like, I got all kinds of stress in my life. There's all sorts of bullshit all the time. I still, like, came out of a recovery period of trauma and my own bullshit. And from, like, recovering from a life crash, like business going under, losing everything. It takes a little bit, you know? So it's like financially and paying shit off here and there and dealing with stuff. But you learn to realize, like, it's just stuff, you know? It's always happening. So you drink your tea, play your guitar, calm your mind, go skate, you know? And then all of a sudden, there's not stress there because you're in it. You're just with it. And it's all happening, and that's cool, you know? How do you get over overthinking? This is gonna sound dumb. I mean, really, it can sound dumb, but just do this. Just take a breath. Like, just stop for a second. Be like, okay, I got all this going on. I'm going to just let some of this go on real quick. And when you think about actually taking a breath, like consciously, you're not thinking about anything else because you're just thinking about taking a stupid breath, which happens in your nervous system anyway. You don't even have to think about it. It kind of like makes you forget stuff for a second. So then, all of a sudden, you're out of your head a little bit, and then you take another breath. And all of a sudden, it changes the neural reception in your body after about like 90 seconds. It cools you down a little bit, you know? And you can think. A little part of the left hemisphere of the brain comes back online. And you start to like it. And you start to let stuff go, and then you're out of your head. Bam! Yep. Focus on your breath. Yep. Meditate. I did a lot of meditation. Still do it. Life is unfair for everyone, huh? Yeah. I mean, there's definitely different versions of life. Like, there's definitely different versions of life. I got the rich kids in the area, like the real cool kids, and Tiny Tammy, who has to piss her pants because no restrooms will let her in. And she's this little lady with cancer. And it's like, all of it's there. But if I buy into any of it, then I can't be with all of it. but everyone feels it a different way. Akron. Ooh. All of our emotions and through thoughts to uncontrolled. I don't know all that much about it. I like reading into things like that, though. I don't know who's nothing like who. We're so in a multiverse, but here's the problem with like calling it a multiverse is then you end up thinking about some stupid small concept like a multiverse. It's real hard to wrap your head around it. And the more you try to think out into multiverseville, how far does this go? You end up driving yourself into massive anxiety. You know, you can just do that on a small scale. Like, what the thing's gonna be like tomorrow? You know, jams your nervous system all up. We're just bringing it back to the mental illness thing. So you get thinking way out there and stuff, and you can't be in your moment. But the more you rest into the moment, the more you feel the multiversedness of things. It makes sense on the atomic level. It's just math, patterns. All of it could be a thing. Wonderwall. What kind of music do you enjoy playing, my guy? This kind of stuff, just sort of fuck around. I used to play a bunch of electric guitar, and I just didn't mean to switch to acoustic. Why is it hard to live with so many people with so many problems? There's always a space within us of non-acceptance. It's like there's a space of judgment within us. And it's always like a non-acceptance of something that is. Something that triggers us or whatever. But there's always like a space of non-acceptance if you see something in another. No, that person's not doing it right. Well, you're not accepting that, and there's something in you that is not allowing you to be with all of it. So, all the people have all the problems. But it becomes our perspective on what the problem is, maybe. Jack Johnson, Sublime. I can play those things if I just have the chords. I just forget the songs. So I don't know. Just play. Book suggestions. Hey, thanks for stopping by, guys. Book suggestions. I've suggested, lately I just suggest Ram Dass Experiments in Truth, which is not a book, but it's a lecture series from early on when he came back from India, and he just had a lot of questions and a lot of funny stories and just real down-to-earth kind of guru energy. That's a great lecture series that's like well curated into basically a book, you know? So that's Experiments in Truth. Just really love that one. And Michael Singer, Untethered Soul, is very much how I think and feel about things. And if you can understand somatic practices or the feelings of the body or anything along those realms of things, especially in dealing in trauma care and how it interacts with the system and things like that, that kind of understanding how that feels, the different feelings, gives you like a much greater perspective on life. It lets you feel out a little more. So anytime you can become conscious of the concept by reading into it, you know, in a book or something, then you can feel into it a little bit more, and you're like, oh, that's what that is. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. And so a lot of my work is to feel the stuff and let it pass through work with it, accepting all of it, knowing that we're all feeling the same feelings. We just perceive them differently through our nervous system. Singer is the man. I like his stuff. I really like, not Untethered Soul, Surrender Experiment. His like story coming to the space of Untethered Soul. That guy's great. I love his vibe. This is tuned with a shortcut capo. It's just I cut this one up years ago. So it's open E, and then I don't know what the tuning is, but I can check for you real quick. So we just got E B, and then it goes A E B E. So it's like an open E-ish. I don't know, but it makes for a lot of fun open chords and patterns. Mental illness. I've noticed in client care and working with people who come to me for emotional alchemy stuff, so many things, and I felt into these from like the broadest ends of the spectrum, from someone who's very like balanced emotionally and mentally, and someone who is way out there. I just sat with a guy in psychosis for a few hours and worked him through that, and it's just like this extreme state of future, of all the infinite possibilities that life could be. And we allow our minds to spin out, but very often it's triggered from a trauma that we hold in us, a memory. So it's like worst possible scenario comes out in future in these like high anxious states, or even into psychosis, because there are so many potential futures. So always to, in care of that, to ground back into your moment as much as possible, which is the same as we were talking about earlier, getting out of your head, but to simply take a breath and breathe and let all those feelings, which we're all feeling, process through in a regular way of allowing them to feel them through, allowing an emotion to come through. So much for mental illness, just like that spectrum we're talking about. Glad you're vibing. It's cool from people hanging out from Australia, from all around the world. Sometimes a bunch of good people pop on here that have all been hanging out for a little while, and everybody gets chatting. I love it. It's like, look at us being weird. So what I've noticed in that trauma care for people, or helping people to center their minds, to come to a space of being, so much of that runaway, like into anxiety, running away from the feelings. It's like the flight response. It's like we don't feel safe in our bodies, like something doesn't feel good, and our mind goes zing, like I'm the fuck out of here, bro. Like, I'm done with this shit. So our nervous system like triggers our mind in states like that, and I think that's very much what anxiety is. And the deeper out it goes into like a psychosis state, like infinite possibilities. So for helping to heal it, to going in and sitting with those scary emotions, to bring yourself back into center, to bring yourself back into a breath, to bring yourself back into feeling your human experience. So to almost force yourself into that scary space. And then when you realize you're okay, to practice grounding into the feeling of that moment. Glad you're digging the guitar. appreciate that about the mustache. I actually checked it before I started this live, I'll have you know. I was like, oh, is the stash good? And I was like, you know, just gotta check before this shit. This is serious, you know? People are getting saved up in this bitch, you know? It's like, gotta take it serious with this. One day I'll start doing my eyebrows, I'll like wax them. Grow some of those old man hairs that get sprouting every now and then and just twirl them up. It's gonna be awesome. All right. Mental illness, trauma care, anxiety, depression, all the flavors of life. But man, everybody's going through. Every one of you. Somebody's got a little bit of it. Literally every single, well, I mean, granted, I work with people who are dealing, but I also know a lot of people. And it's like everybody's dealing with some bullshit. Everybody. Everybody's got some kind of trauma. So what do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to talk about depression? Or about like helping yourself to center back up? So let me tell you a little thing about the moment. Problems, we also come with solutions. Yeah. Hell yeah. I feel like I'm in a mechanic shop right now, you know? Motivational poster. Let's fix some shit. Daniel, what are your thoughts on people that give helpful, wonderful advice and have a fair bit of trauma they are dealing with? I mean, I got a fair bit of trauma I'm dealing with, you know, it's like, but I always had this experience playing on stage and having like a pedal board all set up with a bunch of cool pedals. And I'd play a set and somebody inevitably would always walk up and be like, bro, like you should do your pedals like this. And I was always like, here I am on the stage. It's like, I like my pedals like this. And that's kind of why I'm here. And so you just don't always take advice from people that aren't of the same energy. So, but if they got some good advice, like don't throw it out, you know, be open to it. But sometimes you learn like the most from a traumatic experience and moving through it. It's kind of like, I'd trust people who failed a business or two way more than someone who had never done a business. Just because they have the experience of the failure, you know? So, sometimes it can be real good. Good advice. Somebody who's been through it, they're dealing with it and it's hot and fresh. Just, if anything's coming at you, you know, it's like your fault, then it's probably them dealing with it. So, Paul Booth the cat? It's probably one of those TikTok jokes. Get the old guys to say. Like, you guys going to SockCon? What's SockCon? These nuts, you fuckers. Man. I've yet to have words. I've yet to visit Australia. Asking for me instead of asking for us? Yeah. I'm asking for you. Let me just track with all these questions. Sure. Well, I guess the same answer. Asking for you instead of asking for us. Everybody's like doing their thing. Yeah. Most of our wounds, I mean, most of our primary nervous system conditioning comes from whoever raised us. So the way things felt are the way things feel, until we learn to like heal from those wounds of parents. And it's not that anybody's parents were particularly trying to fuck it up, you know? And some people have a little hard path in that, you know? Lisa, you're in here. I see your icon up there, Lisa. Our friend Lisa Waste here. Lisa Lee? Lisa E. Waste. I'm going to get this right, Lisa. I'm going to talk about you because you're here and you're so public about your story. Lisa reported abuse in her family and was ostracized from the family for bringing something up, and did a bunch of really good acceptance work and healing work, and now is able to love even more deeply of life, appreciating the world around her, because she's seen some real dark space and like moved herself out of dark space. Oh man, religion is so holy. Why do people go to war for it? Rant incoming. Because like, what's holy? Everything. Like, the whole thing of it is, if we're like gonna put some God thing on it and say, oh, God makes this part of all of it holy and that part of all of it not so holy, you know. It's like, cool it down. What's up, Jared? Hello, son. How are you tonight? How was school? I heard meditation can make you love yourself, but not make you holy or nice. Yeah, totally. I that's why I've oftentimes had these rants of like, come out of the ashram, you know, like come out into the world, because I think it's like the Jesus principle of being in the world and not of the world. To be amidst of all the energetic bullshit, instead of like hiding in a meditation cave, to open yourself to all of it. And because when you accept that within humanity, like accept it in yourself, so it's like you kind of got to get out there and hash it out a little bit. You can't just go hide in your cave. Besides, it's way sunnier out, you know, it's nice. You have some general advice for yourself upon life and healing, limited to letter count. General advice: learn to feel your feelings. Like, for real, get into your experience of like just taking a breath. Like, do it. Just feel down into your feelings. I mean, you can be embarrassed if you want to be embarrassed. That's okay. That's a feeling. Get in it. It's gonna hurt. And now here's the trick. That little hurt of like, go, I've done a thing, leads you down into the reason why you've done a thing. It's like a little doorway of pain. So you go feel into your feelings. And you say, why would I do that? You know, what the fuck? Why would anybody do that? And just ask yourself, instead of blaming everybody else and oh, they made me do it and they made me do it. Just don't put up your own bullshit, you know? Fuck that ego. Man, yeah, feel it. Get in there and feel it. And then go in it. And find out why, so you don't do it again. That's the learning process. That little pain you feel is actually an injection of cortisol. It's a stress hormone in your body. And when you feel that pain, that's the good spot, because it also floods your brain. And the cortisol opens up some neuroplasticity, and so you can have a learning event. It's like burning yourself on a stove. And you get better at doing it. But you don't judge yourself, because if you're in the state of judgment, you can't be in the space of acceptance. All right, what else we got, kids? Plant a potato. When life gives you lemons, plant potatoes. That's right, Lisa. Yeah, man. Gotta be you. And I mean, nothing wrong with being a hoe. I mean, everybody's got to do it, you know. God, my wrist is really, that little bone that broke in there that one time and I never got fixed. It just kind of gets all locked up every now and then. I don't remember what I was gonna say, but feel the point. Do you think a stop box percussion emphasis for the solo? Oh, do I think a percussion? Like, I don't know. I can't do it. Oh, the snuff box, like a stomp. Do I have one or do I think? I built them. They're cool. You make a little wooden box and you put a piezoelectric conductor in there. You guys want to talk about piezoelectricity? I bet you do. On the foot, yeah. That's fun. You get a little drum set. You guys don't want to talk about piezoelectricity and how the bone's created and you're basically a big radio. Let me know if you want to talk about that. Do you play anything other than guitar? I got a Native American flute that occasionally I pull out and play the same, like, kind of almost sounding Native American song that I made up years ago. And my kids are always like, Dad! You know? So I don't bring that. I didn't really appreciate it that much. And then sometimes I'm not just going to sit in my backyard and there are people around playing a Native American flute. I should just get naked and do it. Piezo? Okay. Oh, yeah. I'm interested too. Let's talk about it. All right, so let's break it down real quick. You're a bunch of buzzing energy. Right? Just get that through your meat suit. You're made of atoms. And these little motherfuckers are a little buzzing ball of electron or electrons, depending on the atom. Neither here nor there. It's real fast. It's spinning around, making a magnetic field of energy. Within that is a little nucleus made of some tiny little bits, which are basically like putting a basketball inside of the Earth. Right? If you're into the round, let's just go with the round thing. You put a basketball in there, in this big ass thing. That's about the size of the nucleus. It's basically nothingness, creating an electric field of nothingness, which magnetically attracts to other fucking nothingness based on how many electrons it has. And there's a communication from atom to atom of this electron jump, because that's how current flows. So everything is vibrating a frequency to stick the right atoms together to create the right molecules. So when it's all fucked up, it doesn't work right. So we're creating frequencies through our bones. They have a piezoelectric structure, which means when there is kinetic pressure applied, then it emits an electric frequency. It's a little crystal. You also have this in your pineal gland, which is the whole third eye thing, if you're into that. So this guitar pickup here, this is the bridge. It's not, well, this is the bridge. This is like the bridgey bridge. It's the bridge of the bridge. It's just a substructure, neither here nor there. Underneath that little white part is a piezoelectric element. It's this little thin strip of aluminum foil with some wires, teeny little thing. But inside is some crystals, I guess. I don't know how it works that far into it. Anyway, what I do understand about it is when this guitar string goes wobble up dub dub, you see it wiggling? You see it wiggling, right? And the frame rate's good enough so you can see the fucking wiggle in the guitar string. So that's how. Oh, I should check that on the spectrum analyzer. I don't actually know what that's E. I don't know what the pitch would be. Down in the 200s. But it's also an octave down, so neither here nor there. But you see it wiggling. When it wiggles, it shakes the little piezoelectric crystals, and they go, motherfucker, gives them a little squeeze, and they go, zap, they zap shit. Electrons. Blasting through these little pickups here and into some electronics. Then it gets re-amplified with there's a battery and stuff. So at that point, now this tiny little frequency, an oscillation, hits this pickup system, which then amplifies it, farts it out the guitar hole. And it's just energy transferring from like kinetic energy, like touch energy, to electrical signal and impulse. And that's what piezoelectricity is. So in Tai Chi and things like that, when you flex, you're doing the motions and exercises and you're flexing on those bones, it's actually emitting more chi, more electrons, more life force. Your atoms are like, motherfucker, you know? So I'm like, I look at that, I'm like, geez, like whatever we're feeling, we're literally like blasting it out. Like, that's why you feel people's vibes, you know? They're being all angry. And then you feel all angry, you know? You're like, what's their deal? You feel it. So piezoelectricity also receives signals. That's how those little stomp box work. For those acoustic guitar things, they have a piezoelectric element in it, and when you whack that thing, there's a certain vibration, which then gives the little crystals a little rub down, and it emits an electrical frequency. I really don't know the part about between the rub down and the electrical frequency. That just freaks me out a little bit, but I'm gonna have to get a scientist in here. Lisa, fuck. I'm coming back to the heart of worship. It's all about. Oh God, I'm gonna throw up. Do this. So anyway, that's what I like about hugs too, because whenever you're hugging somebody, and you can always tell the difference. You guys know this feeling, you know, when you try to hug someone that doesn't want to hug you, and it feels like you're hugging an angry cat, but they're not scratching you. Yeah. But you can feel it when they're into it. You know, when someone gives you the good hug. Let's talk hug magic. So they're like, I'm gonna love the shit out of you, right? You're getting them right in the heart space, which was a big energetic field in our body. And then you get the bones in there and the big squeeze. And it's like a circle of life. Right there. Just it's big hug witchcraft, hug energy, big hug energy. Okay, what? Yeah. Hey, man. Oh, hello. Thank you. Do you think we are always exactly where you need to be? Yeah. True. Actually, I said it weird, but yes. Also, yes. Man, I fucked up so many things. Colossally, you know? Really did some numbers. Not in any malicious way. I was just doing my life, and there it goes. Zing. And every time I learned beautiful things, and after like processing and feeling those feelings through, and I was like, damn, that was awesome. I would totally do that again. Like, I would rather do it, just learn the lesson, but I have no idea how I would have learned the lesson without actually going through the process, you know? So you just stop taking them all so seriously and realize that you're creating exactly how you feel about everything, and it's all the same. Not to cut to the end or anything. Okay. Yeah, the mutual hugs. You guys are feeling that? When you get the, you know, when you're like, you get a little of the neck in there, try this. Better hugs in 8 easy steps with Daniel. You guys ready for this? When you get in there, take a breath. Like if this is somebody, you know, you want to give them the good one, take a breath with them. Like, and even you can, if you sigh when you give it out and your necks are touching, it's like this. It's really good. You guys are itching for a hug right now. I know it. Okay, what are you guys talking about? I used to love hugs, but my trauma response made me freak out when a stranger touches me. Yeah, that's a thing. Okay, so check this out. In that state of aroused autonomic nervous system, whenever that trauma happened, the way it felt in your body was so overwhelming for your system, your energetic system, your nervous system, that it actually kicks you into a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, which eliminates not eliminates, but it kind of cuts off the memories or the feelings associated with the event to get you out of danger. So your brain goes like, fuck, we're hurt, we're in danger, and it just kind of like shuts off the feeling to the moment at that moment. And the feelings that we have and the memories we have are just feelings, like a concept within us. So when we no longer have the feeling with the memory, like the memory is like, what just happened, you know? So then when you're in that state, especially for an extended period of time or whatever, it galvanizes it even more. So it sort of blocks it all out, and then all of your neural reception is connected, right? You got these little neurons talking to each other. When they fire together, they wire together. So then anybody touching you can trigger from your sensory system, I am in danger. And then your system freaks out, feels like it's in danger, flight, fright, freeze, or fawn. And so you get stuck in a loop until you can feel back into the original feelings of the moment of trauma. And to bring that energy into the moment of now, because this is all you have, is nothing but an energetic sensation that is jamming up your nervous system. Oh, Daniel, I can't stop obsessing over my ex. Well, Katie White. Man, it always comes from some space of self-acceptance, but kind of like meta self-acceptance, where you're like trying to fill a space within yourself with a partner, and then all of a sudden they like fill that space, and you're like, oh, I'm whole. And then inevitably every partner goes away. Now, granted, that might be in a freak, airplane crash into the side of a mountain, and you both get to zinc exactly at the same moment. Morbid, yes, but here we are. But generally speaking, you separate one point or the other. Not generally speaking, you do separate from that physical form. And when that physical form is not there, zapping out all those frequencies from your piezoelectric bones, you feel like an empty space in your energy, in the way that you feel, in your emotions. And then you have this energetic bond with them, an endorphin bond or something like that, and you feel, oh, I just need this person to fill this void. That's just like the same thing as a chemical addiction to alcohol or something like that. I need to fill this void, or I need to block off these emotions. I need to block off these feelings because I cannot deal with the way I feel in my current moment. So you dive deeply into the pain of the experience. And it's great when you have someone to hold space for you. That's what I do with Emotional Alchemy, is we get you down in there, feeling these things. People will be feeling it. They'll be thrashing about, freaking out. It's great. It's exactly what you want. Exactly what you want. Because that's literally the emotions. I worked with one guy who was a former minister of the Catholic Church, and he had performed over 3,000 exorcisms, all thrashing about. And he was like, part of his deconstruction from that, he was like, none of the holy words or anything mattered. He's like, it's all just movement of energy, like with hand motions. It's like a pattern and some other stuff. I don't remember. And he's like, yeah, it's just trauma. It's like the feeling of it. Like when it passes through you, it's like you almost have to feel through the original actions or something like that. Because that's the moment it got locked up neurologically. So you have to open that neural receptor, or that plasticity back up. You have to unbond all those neurons that have been bonded together in this energetic event of being overwhelmed by whatever. So that's effectively like how trauma works in the nervous system. It's a memory of pain. It's a memory of fear. It just hits you. Any of your senses, dingo, here you are. Trauma fucked. So, okay, when my younger sister hugs me, I feel that heart connection. Isn't that the best heart connection? Oh, it's so good. Okay. If you could go back to a fork in the road with everything you know now, would you? No. I mean, it's just going to send you down some other road. Some other lesson, energetically speaking. So there it is. Hey, here I am. Like, let's see where this one goes. And when you allow for the process, it's like magnetic event from the meta fucking subatomic level. And it's really nice. You just kind of get to be, and then all of it's yours. You need a hug? Come here, guys. Bring it in. You know you want one. Come on. You feel better? Good. What's up, Bree? Get on in here. Can't stop obsessing. Oh, wait, we did that, right? Did that help? Oh, that did help. You're welcome. I don't want huggy people to feel uncomfortable when they try, but I can't control the response. Yeah, it's okay. It's literally like we got that whole trauma response thing. That's a trauma response. It is their nervous system triggering. It triggers the scary things. You smell a smell from an attacker, and you're going to be reminded what that feeling is. Trauma response. Then you go into fight or flight. Fight, you get all angry, and you want to fight and scratch people and stuff. Flight, you run away, or you feel like you want to run away. Freeze, you run away in your mind. You're aware that you're in the moment, but you feel disconnected. And you're in the corner of the room and you're almost not in your body. Or fawn, to have feelings of love for this scent or whatever that reminded you of some attack or something. So those are like the response mechanisms within trauma that we kind of understand in the brain. And those are the ways we generally respond to it. So when it doesn't make sense, that you're acting all weird, but it doesn't feel right, maybe it's a trauma response. Okay, advice on past mistakes. I've been okay for a few months, but it just came back up. Where are we, Bree? Where are we, girl? Where are we right now? We're in a fucking moment. Okay? So just take a breath. Remember where you are. Feel back into this one. Bravely go into the feelings of past that are giving you anxiety into the future. It's just coming back up. Things. Reprogram this moment. Does spiritual mental growth coincide with physical form? Absolutely. Watch this. Oh, my fingers are moving and I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just feeling about it. Try to think your fingers to feel that fast. I dare you. That wasn't even fast. It was very moderately paced. And I could not simply go, like if I think it through. No, it's just a feeling that happens. Everything's mental and physical. It's all one. And you're made out of atoms. It's just a buzzing ball of energy. Okay. You felt that hug, didn't you? A lot of music has the effects of exorcising the bad demons. Honestly, I kind of love the metal shows. I used to love going, I still love going to dirty dive bar shows. I used to. I still love it. Just going to these metal shows and thrashing about, or some punk rock shows, and just going and just bumping into each other, casual day. Really just elbowing people and getting rowdy. It's felt great, It's like this emotional release when you don't know how to feel things. So it's like yoga, turned up to 11, possibly 12 sometimes. I've definitely been punched in the face. Great experience. You should try it. Okay, I look so familiar. Does that help? How to enjoy the moment, but plan for the future as well. Ooh, I love this one. I have a hard time with this, let's be honest. Because I love that future. I love it. Also, I'm a manifester in human design. And so my brain always is like, ooh, this would be cool. Zing! And just some ridiculous plan, way out there. Just way out there. Space travel, just something stupid. And I can drive myself crazy coming up with all these ideas. Just completely worthless in this moment. Stuck in my head. And it's like a creative form of anxiety. Why not just be in this moment and create right here? Why not just feel into how this feels and create the way that you desire to feel in every moment, instead of working towards something into the future? And maybe have an idea into the future, but say that's cool. How does that feel? And move towards that, instead of planning out the future, but trusting the moment, because your moment is creating your future on this subatomic level. All of your intent adjusts the little subatomic particles, all the muons and the nuons and things like that, to be in the right spot to create an electric field of the atom spinning around, to create a magnetic field to attract to another atom, to create a molecule, to create the building blocks of life, to create your kidneys and stuff. So that's like faith or manifesting. You have to believe it in your moment and feel it deeply in your moment. Otherwise, you can't kind of create from that meta level outwards, because we just look outwards all the time, and that's where all the anxiety comes from, and that's where all stress comes from. But when you're in your moment, you're in your moment. You don't even have to worry about the future stuff because you create it from how you feel in the moment. The future doesn't exist. You can't even get there. Try it. Go. We're still here. You suckers. You thought I could go into the future? Dumbass. Gosh. All right. I've decided I might have to go to Nevada to gather opal, obsidian. Yeah. I saw some of those other crystals you yanked. That was pretty sweet. Instead of coming to San Diego, oh man, I take back all the nice things I said. I just should have read that part. Shit. Dude, that's all good. You were pulling some cool rocks out of the ground. I'd sniff those rocks in a heartbeat. Those nice looking crystals. That was pretty cool. I want to go rock hunting. That looks so fun. I just don't know where to go. Hello, I've really enjoyed your videos. They give me another perspective on living. Okay, Pickles. That's what I'm talking about, you know? Just get in it. It's way nicer than fighting and stuff. Let's talk about quantum physics. Ooh. Okay, what do you want to talk about? This is what I love about whatever the most advanced science is. We get out there into something, and you get to the edge of it, and you're like, fuck. Well, must be God, you know? It's like, I don't believe in anything bigger. And then it's like, we get out to the edge of it, and it's like, it must be God. It's like, we got out to the edge of lightning, you know, coming from clouds back in the olden days. And we're like, oh, must be Zeus. Must be God. Then we get out into the edge of quantum mechanics and physics, and it's like, oh, fuck. Where's this going exactly? It's real confusing because it all just goes back into itself. Just like every single little magnetic field of everything. And your experience is your point of observation, how you are experiencing that moment of energetic iteration. Okay, how close to San Diego are we going to find these rocks? How far am I driving? I'll hike a mountain. Bro, can I get a horse? I want to talk about these quantum physics too, but also let's talk about how all human systems, economical and political, suppressed awakening when they inevitably become corrupted. Ooh, yes. Let's talk. That's freaking brilliant. This is all quantum physics too. Don't worry. Yeah. Wait, how not? About how all, yeah. So any economic, any political system is the same as any religious system. There's a limit to what can be. And so people say, oh, that's the limit there. Meanwhile, it's all subjective based on how people feel. Whether that be politically or economically or whatever. Whatever the construct is, like the construct of our modern economic system, it's like, that shit's a fuck show. Like, there's nothing to back it. It's all made up money. They just print more of it. It's like, oh, we'll raise the minimum wage. That'd be cool. Yeah, we'll take care of our people. And now it's like, oh, by the way, we're going to fuck the economy 15%. You basically break even, you know? It's just like this control mechanism that if you buy into it, you live in the fear of it. But it's like Jesus, like, be in it and not of it. You be in it, you do it. But you don't buy into the bullshit of it. You be free of it. And so if you can't do that, you can't accept it that, oh, that just is. And I'm not going to give a shit. I'm not going to give a shit about feeling about it. Yeah, maybe I'll do some things about it so I don't go to jail. I'll just pay my taxes and do my normal life and not worry about any of that stuff because I'm worried about, like creating a space of love for myself so I can love other people. Because why not feel like that? Why I feel worked up all the time about some bullshit? All right, dude, have a good rock hunting night. All right. Faith, baby, that's response just 1,000 makes some sense to me. Thank you for that. You're welcome. Yeah, isn't that wild? It's like the same as manifesting. Faith, same thing. You like believe it from a quantum level, and then bingo, it's great. Do you have any tips for getting things done when executive dysfunction kicks in? Ooh, that's also a trauma response. You need to call me. Let's work this shit through. Hit the website up. I'm gonna follow you. Hit the website up. Fill out the contact form. The lovely Sarah will get a call and book you. And we will sit down and we will feel into feelings like that. We will feel into those trauma responses and find the original stories that made you feel like that, so then you can jump in that little portal of pain and reprogram the way your nervous system feels in your moment. It's just the process of helping you to feel okay. So hit that website up. We will work that right on through. Yeah, if we all become awakened, we can't make corrupt any more money. It's like, it's even more like Jesus' teachings. I have a lot of those just because I came from Christianity, so it's like fresh in my head. But when the Pharisees are like, they bring him a coin, or they don't bring him a coin, they're like, Jesus, who should we pay our taxes to? Or how should we give our money to? God or man? Basically saying, should we pay our taxes or should we give it to the church? Like a 10% tax or something like that. And Jesus was like, let me see a coin. Come here, you fuckers. Like, give me the coin. Like, here you go, Jesus. Like, whose face is on that coin? Like Caesar, and he's like, give to Caesar what's Caesar's and God's to what's God. He's like, stop giving a fuck, guys. Getting all worked up about nothing. If one doesn't pay taxes on time, is that not good? Yeah, you can get fined for that. Are you a Johnny Depp fan? Yeah, I like his stuff. I'm not like a big fan of any celebs or anything like that. I just observe them as they come on past, and I'm like, I like that pirate guy. But I know he's also done a lot of other good movies too, and I know he's in a trial with his ex for domestic abuse by her, and I think that's really great because so much of that's unreported. There's a massive amount of domestic abuse towards men. I've worked with a few men in emotional alchemy who have such a hard time reprogramming their nervous system because of their abusive partners. They just are scared, so scared of feeling that way again. And I've had to do that in myself. I had a very, very, what time is it? Kids aren't watching, good. A narcissistic partner who was very emotionally abusive in this like really low-key way. And it really fucked me up, Got me feeling all wild and so yeah, I'm grateful that there's a kind of high profile case about like domestic abuse in the public eye right now of women towards men, because as much as we've had this horrible patriarchal culture and there's such disgusting abuse for women, which is we work with a ton. Sarah's taken a few of those just really, really horrible situations. I love that we're bringing awareness to all of the spectrum. That it's opening to treating people better and not doing things like this. Oh, you get what you focus on. Focus goes, energy flows. Yeah. Yep. Do you have fixed price for your alchemy sessions? Yes, I do. I also do coaching calls. The emotional alchemy sessions are about 60 or 90 minutes. They are a meditative process and a feeling deep process and holding you in that space while you feel some shitty feelings process, where I'll be feeling it in my own body, like what's going on in you, and helping you walk through that. Sarah as well, if you do a session with her. And then I also do coaching calls, which are an hour. Both of those are awesome. Don't have the money right now, but appreciate your content. Yeah, keep on tracking then. Keep asking questions and stuff. It's all good. I love being here. I'll answer whatever you need. It's crazy how the extreme religious create people like us. Yeah, isn't that wild? What's up, Brenda? And here we are. You know the rules. When do you feel like narcissists? Oh, they fit all over the place. They are spirits. They're just a bunch of buzzing atoms. They are spiritual. That's part of spirituality. So there's different levels. I hate saying it like that. It's just different points of perception of accepting the energy of a narcissist, I guess you could say. Like what you're willing to accept. And as you almost accept the fact that they are, you break the energy of it, because then you're not accepting any of that within you. So you can no longer feel it. Now you have your boundaries of this is who I am as a person. But that's the thing, when you have your boundaries, these internal boundaries of who this is who I am as a person, and I will not be swayed. And unless there's a better idea coming along, then that narcissistic energy has no effect if there's nothing of you to reflect it back. So if somebody comes at you and is acting all narcissisty, you're just like, all right. Cool story, you know? But if you got some of that in you, you want to argue, no, you're the narcissist, no, you're the narcissist, and then all that starts happening. It's dumb. No way to live. Best way to let someone go, especially if they have moved on with another relationship easily, well, you gotta start. You gotta decide. You can do a little ceremony. I would recommend I would honestly recommend just writing all the nice things about them that you liked, putting it on a paper, and say, hey, these are all the things I appreciate. And as I appreciate these, I release the energy of this person because of my love for this person, to allow them to move towards whatever they need. And burn it up, do whatever you want, throw it out. Let go of all you need to have them fulfill you in any way. In love. And when you can come to a mindset like that, you generally drop your attachments. Oh, husband and ex-boyfriend dying. That sounds traumatic as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Oh. Yeah. That's a toughie. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's a lot of letting go. It's a lot of letting go. Some big heavy energy there. It's a lot of fear. Because the context of partnership will then bring up the fear of that death. That's how it programs into your system. Context of partnership, yeah, of course, you're terrified. Of course, who wouldn't be terrified? Both your partners pass away, and then the thought of having another partner feels like your partner's passing away. Who wouldn't be fucking terrorized? Or terrified? Both. That's how it gets all stuck in the nervous system. So, it's to move through the fear of that emotion, and that's terror. Truly. Because here you are in a moment. It's all the beauty around you, and your nervous system's kicking you out. It's nah, we don't get to feel this one right now. Things are fucked. Yeah. And don't even judge yourself for being terrified, for crying out loud. Anybody back me up on that one? Who wouldn't be terrified? I just tapped in on you a little bit, and I was like, ouch! You're okay to be terrified. But know that you can let it go. Find some beauty. Pet the dog. Breathe into your moment. Feel all those feelings. Cry them out, shake them out, release them, barf. Whatever you gotta do. I hate to even like use this story as an advertisement for my services, but that's literally will help things like that to work these things through with someone else is there with you, feeling those things with you and allowing you to feel safe in feeling those, because everything you're feeling in that terror of your nervous system is triggering your autonomic nervous system to respond in a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So it's like getting scared at every moment, at every thought of it. Motherfucker, and your nervous system does adrenaline, cortisol, terror. Every single time, you know, every thought. So if you want to move through, you got to move through it. So just take it gentle and slow and breathe. Let yourself feel it. Yeah, terrified of starting. Dude, there's something in dudes, right? Okay, dudes, listen up. There's only 22 of you hanging out here, but you guys are paying attention. Dudes, listen up. There are so many dudes out there that get in this relationship, right? And it's the one. And then it turns out it was a relationship, and it's no longer the one. And they're like in their 20s and had a breakup when they were, you know, they were like mid-late 20s, and they had a breakup when they were 19 from their high school sweetheart who was the one, you know. And they're just still scared to death. And it's like, you can't get through that stuff without getting into it. And I think it's probably that cultural masculinity of like, no, you can't feel your feelings. And so these guys get their heart broke and they're not allowed to feel their feelings through. Nope, don't feel them, just get stuck. It's a big old feeling up the ass, you know? Stuck feeling it, and then it's, you know, years later, and it's like, bro, go get laid. Like, come on, get out of the house. I can never do it again. You know, it's like, you can clear that shit. Like, get out there. Okay, I can do this. I'm terrified of stepping out of my current relationship. I don't love him. Brenda, what are we going to say about self-love here? Yeah, Brenda, you find the happiness you deserve, and you know what that feels like. Don't bullshit yourself. Don't make me do a healing spell on you. What's up, Stone Cold Sober? Old Talk's in the house. Bring it up for the 40 and ups. Yeah, it's the thing. It's the high school sweetheart. It's like the curse of men, you know? We're like so, like down at this core level, we're dumb as shit, right? That's cool. Like just, but down at this core level, there's this big dumb animal that's just like, if you just touch my head, I'll fight, you know? It's this big dumb animal. And it just really like serves a purpose in us, you know? And then we don't have anything to fight for anymore. Favorite place to travel to? Why is healing so hard sometimes? Well, because you keep forgetting that you're in a moment. And every time you're like, oh, I'm healed. And then you feel healed. And every time you're like, oh, there it is again. I knew it. I knew I wasn't healed. Fuck, shit. Fuck. Then it just like grinds it down there and there more. So you got to get present and be like, nope, no, I'm healed. I'm in this moment now. And like reprogram your nervous system. You got to work that habit out. Favorite place to travel to? Man, I really love Eastern Europe. I love it. I haven't been there for a while. Over 10 years, maybe 15. It's been a while. But man, I love it. It was just gritty as fuck. Not in a bad way. Like in the raddest way. Like all these old stone textures of old buildings and things. And it was just cool. It's just a little rougher than Western Europe. That's kind of, you know, it's got to have a little texture to it. It's got to have a little character. My issue is I'm afraid of going to old boyfriend habits because I'm doing well spiritually, emotionally, signal. Okay, great. How are you going to work that shit out without working that shit out, you know? Get your head straight and go practice your heart. Get out there. Jeez, I'm going to make some tea, guys. Everybody talk amongst yourselves. Ow. right, guys. I want you to know I'm still here. I'm literally like 4 feet away, so everybody calm down. Ask some questions. I'll answer something, I promise. Ask your questions. At this moment in the live, I would recommend getting a glass of water, some lip balm, you know? It's important. Take care of yourselves. Those questions better be good because this water's taking a little while. I'm going to come back. All right, we're ready for this. Oh my goodness. Rock City, you're here. That's right when I left the live. You showed up. Is being a dad a fun job? Yeah, it's awesome. Well, I mean, it's basically if you make it awesome, it's awesome. If you make it suck, it sucks. Well, and also it kind of gets passed down genetically. Let me explain. We learn all the stuff from our parents, right? I mean, we taught you how to wipe your ass the way you wipe your ass. Like, let's be honest, it got pretty intimate. It's like, this is how you do it. You literally learn everything, all of that basic stuff, the way you feel from your parents. So if you're a dad, and your dad didn't like being a dad, then you will probably have some of that same kind of energy until you become conscious of it and be like, oh, okay, I'm going to just not do that anymore, because it hurts when you go, oh, yeah, that's why you got to eat it. Painful shit, you know? And so you can clear all the stuff out, but I really like being a dad. I think it's great. My dad really liked being a dad, so I just feel like that's the way you're supposed to feel about it. So that's how I learned how to do it. But he changed his energy from his dad to be a much warmer, like, more loving dad. His dad was much colder, so it can change. You can shift it. But very often your concept of what being a dad would, or being a parent would be, is based in how you felt with your parents. It's kind of how we learned how to love, how we learned how to feel things. But yeah, I love it. It's a fun job. It's great. I don't even look at it as a job, though. It's just, we're just vibing, you know? So when I was looking at it as a job, it was less cool. But then when I was like, oh, these are just little people that are learning how to be people. And so then I was like, oh, all I got to do is be people and do all the fun shit I wanted to do when I was a kid. So here we are. What's a good way to approach women? Like initially, I'm usually like, hey, baby, don't ever do that. I'm serious. God, I swear to you. I'm going to actually answer this. Well, my tea's almost ready, so it's distracting me. Good way to approach women. Zachary, I swear to God, don't do that. You don't approach women. Just be. Like, figure out who the fuck you want to feel like. And just go do that. And do something meaningful to you. And then they'll feel that. They'll be like, ooh. They got sensors out. These women, oh, let me tell you, they can feel that shit. Big time. I think they have nipple sensors. Oh, water's ready. Oh, you guys. Can I tell you how much I love this tea? I really do. It's the chocolate man from the Republic of Tea. Oh, truly. It's like baby Jesus had a second coming in your mouth. God, don't let me say things like that ever again. Oh man, what was I talking about? Oh, women. That's right. Let's get back to work. We're talking about how to approach women. Now, women, please correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm just winging it. You got to just center up in your own heart. Be the person that you desire to be. And what I mean by that is feel like it. Like, create the damn sensation that you desire to be. And then when you're all, you got your own internal, like, balance, and, it's confidence, too. I mean, you're going to describe it like that. It's just confidence has some kind of dickish connotations for me. So it's just a state of, like, hard beingness. You could be described as, I don't give a fuck. But it's not the dick kind. It's like not giving a fuck to the point where you can give the deepest fucks possible. It's kind of backwards thinking, but here we are. And then, someone smells nice or whatever, and then you're like, hey, what's up? And then you do that. That's when you do that. God. Aren't you paying attention? Not for human consumption. I'm glad you got some help. What you're saying is echoed in the book of religion the book I'm reading right now. God, if I could read too, wow, wouldn't that be cool? Echoed in the book you're reading. Oh, The Way of the Superior Man. That's funny. Yeah, Way of the Superior Man's a good book. When I first read that one, I was like, I don't like the way. I was so over my own, like, bullshit, like, patriarchal energy, kind of like more toxic masculinity. I was like, oh, Daniel, like, you're being a dick. And I saw that, and I was aware of it, so I changed to what I wanted to be. When I first read that book, I was, like, coming out of that, like, healing from that wound. And I was like, I didn't like the language of it. It just felt really, like, dickish to me. I don't know. And then when I read it later, I was like, oh, I get what he's talking about. I just didn't really like the language. But it's a good, that's a good book for you dudes. The Way of the Superior Man. See, even the title, I'm like, fuck off. Like, oh, I'm a superior man. Look at me. Superior fucking ego. Like, get out of here. Just get past all that. And then the rest of it's great, You know what I'm saying? Anybody else read that book? Yeah, having to filter it to fit, but you get what he's trying to say. Exactly. Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah, I think the language could be updated. Like, the concept can be conveyed without the, like, I'm a big dude. Look at my big truck. Kind of vibe. All right. So how do we heal from relationship trauma? What's some good ideas there? Because the good Lord knows we all got some relationship trauma, huh? Am I right? Yeah, I do mentor stuff. I do coaching calls with people, and emotional alchemy calls. Emotional alchemy is more of like a deep meditative process of feeling down deeply into wounds and things like that, and walking you through the pain of that. And the coaching calls are for people who are like, what's happening? They just need their brain broken a little bit more, and I just talk them through it, Shitballs. I was reading that Jesus comment, and I almost had a catastrophe, guys. I do like Jesus a lot. I do not like American Churchianity's version with all of the extra things that Jesus wasn't talking about added in. But man, that guy's teachings, I don't even care if it was made up. I mean, there's contradictory evidence there in historical events and different things I've read. But the idea of Christ, of that Christ consciousness, that state of being, that state of love, that state of full acceptance, is exactly what I try to practice, And when I feel that, and I think to his teachings and things that I've learned over my lifetime, I'm like, oh, that's what you're talking about. It's like a different lens of comprehension. You feel it differently when your mind isn't all closed and tiny like a little pea. If I come back to San Diego, I'd love to have a chat over coffee, bottomless mimosa sometime. Let's chat it up. Let's go skate. Oh, you hit the inquiry. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to chat with you. Shoot, no judgment. Was I judging? Oh, were you judging? Did you judge? We're all judgy. That's how we do. Did you know we have mirror neurons? Like those little sons of bitches. They instantly judge. They're like instant judgers. You just check this out. Your mirror neurons. Your mirror neurons. You got the mirror neuron connected to the beer neuron. The mirror neurons, you know, when everybody's like standing there and then somebody walks up and they're like, and then everybody goes like, it's what our bodies do, right? We pick up the energy of how people are acting everywhere around us. So we're instantly judging everybody, the feeling of it, in a way. Oh, this energy is offset from mine. Should I like come into that energy, or should I like hold my own strongly? So that's like consciousness of your nervous system of like, am I judging everybody around me? It's like consciousness of thought and system. The way you feel about it is your concept of it, your thought. So it's like we are these really judgmental beings, like when it comes down to it. So do you let those feelings control you? You know, do you let them control your thoughts, or do you observe your feelings as you control your thoughts? People lose interest in people when they're boring. I mean, what's boring? Might just not be the right energy. Like some people are just super chill. Some people get a little, you know, get on live and stay on live way too long talking about random shit. So everybody's on a different spot of the spectrum, so you just kind of find something that's like an energetic match. Don't worry about it, you know. How can one get the most out of meditation? Ooh, don't judge yourself about thinking thoughts. What are you, some little weird pants monk sitting on a mountain? Like, just think some thoughts, you know? It's okay. And every time you think a thought, you go, oh, I'm not this thought. Like, and you realize that you're thinking a thought. And then all of a sudden you can kind of like almost breathe it down. Just take the thought and the feeling that you're having about the thought, the concept, and drop it. And just keep doing that. Take big, deep breaths so you can kind of feel your feelings. And just keep doing that, you know. There's little mantras and stuff you can do. You can like rub some beads and things. But I just like doing that one. We all judge, but the key is to find a positive perspective. Yeah. Well, how about to feel a positive perspective? So that mirror of judgment, what we consider judgment, because as soon as we feel a judgment from somebody else, it's because of our perception energetically, based on the way our nervous system has been programmed. They have their own particular energy. We have our particular energy. It feels differently. They have their feelings, we have our feelings. They have their endocrine system, we have ours. We mirror off each other, but the feeling that we have about how they feel about us is based on how we feel about us. So when you feel yuck, you go, why would I feel yuck? Why would I think this way? Why can I not accept this? Well, you can't accept this because of this. Well, why can't I accept that within myself? Because all the things are. You just keep going back in there, you know. How do you reflect the confidence you want to exude? You just kind of decide to do it better. Not better. Do it however you want. Different. Do it different. You just decide each time you get conscious of how you want to be, you be that. And if you're not, all of a sudden, because you have neurological conditioning, then you remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm being that. But you don't judge yourself, because the second you're judging yourself, you're back out of your moment. You got to just be like, oh, okay, here I am. Energy I want. Sometimes it takes a little bit to work through because you got different neuroreception triggering in there because of different hormones that are fired into your energy centers. Yeah, observe the judge. Just observe the judge. Any thoughts on eco-anxiety, like related to climate change? I feel like it feels so much bigger. Yeah. Here's what's so funny about that, and I am all there with that in maintaining the whole of everything to the greatest possible extent. Like, I'd be totally fine if all the freeways crumbled, you know? Let's do some horses. No, maybe, freeways are nice, but a whole lot less cement. A whole lot less like constricting everything, like just paving it over, taking out all the beautiful plant life that creates this like environment that we live in. And the eco-anxiety isn't fear of the earth, because that thing will right its motherfucking self. It'll be able to kick us all off and just regrow it in a different way and change as it needs. It doesn't give a shit. Eco-anxiety is fear of your own discomfort, which should put a little bit of weight on it. Also make you feel like, am I really like caring about the earth, or am I just caring about me getting kicked off, or my kids? But to care about the earth is to note the magic in it, to truly feel the energies of it. Not to, I'm going to become one with the earth, but it's a whole lot more enjoyable out there when you can drop all the bullshit that blocks you from feeling the subtle beauty all around you. And then you learn to place your focus on that, to look for it, to find the magic that's all around you. Because it's all right there, and you're just focusing on the dark things. Now, if you like those, go for it. Can't have one without the other. You guys got me ranting about stuff tonight. I like it. I didn't really like that last note, but everything else was great. What do you guys want to talk about? Mental things? Trauma things? I think that's what this was titled. Living in the moment, which is right in the middle of all that trauma and shit. In that beautiful little nirvana zen spot. Ooh, how do you start the week off? Good. Me, or in general. I just let the week be the week, I don't worry about, well, that's also different because I've just created my life to be the way. Like I don't really work. I just do things I like. And then find a way to offer my gifts back, which then has a return for me. Because people are real grateful and pay me money to help them work through their stuff, to help accept and to love. It's weird. I'm like, wish I could just do this all the time. But here we are, living in the world. Only so much energy out there to move back and forth. So I just sort of like balance the energy throughout the week and not really give a shit about the weekend, or it's different when my kids come. I have a rotation schedule with their mother, where I have them 3 days on, 4 days on, 3 days on. So it's like 3-4 split. Or 3 days on, 4 days off, excuse me. So I just allow each day to just be the day that it is. I don't worry that, this is the day my kids have to go home. I just be present with the day. And I don't worry that, it's Sunday tonight. It's Sunday today. I did think about that earlier because somebody was like, hey, happy Sunday. And I was like, it's Sunday? Wow. But I just look at my little app, what appointments do I have today? And stay in that moment and not worry about what day of the week it is. Now, that's an extreme case. You could scroll it back into humanity and end up with, hey, thank God it's Monday, like, let's kick ass. Hey, thank God it's Tuesday, this looks like a great day to do things. You get the idea. We could keep going. Hey, thank God it's Wednesday, like, fuck off, Daniel, we've had enough. But just look for the beauty in each day, be grateful. And if you're like, I'm so grateful for this job supplying for my family, and you're like, fuck that noise, then maybe work on a different job, work on a different career, do something you like, do something that can get you being in your moment, because all of your moments that you're supposedly creating right now to at one point be are kind of like wasted if you're not being. So just start your week now and keep going. This is like virtual church of the earth. Polyamory. Oh, that's a tricky one. I never figured that one out, really. I just get into somebody and I'm like, zoink. So, that's the thing, too. Well, I don't know. Some people are into it. I don't really know a lot of couples that have gotten real good at it or haven't had some awkward moments. I mean, you're going to have some awkward moments, but it's like you really got to be dedicated to the cause to pull something like that off. I can only manage holding emotions for one at a time. And how are you going to have like great connected sex if you're not in an emotional space together where you're connected? It's just like masturbation with more work, you know? Yep. A job should support you. A hobby should be fun. A career is both. Yeah, totally. I'm into that. There's the man himself, the Tyackinator. Check this out, Don. My kids were at Daiso, which is basically like, it's like Japan's version of a 99-cent store. There's a bunch of them around here, and they just sell all this crazy fun stuff, like little squishy toys and things, all sorts of stuff. I mean, you can get fishing stuff there if you want. It's gigantic. Well, my kids found me a Terminator, original Terminator. You guys think of this as the Terminator. This is actually the Terminator who came to kill this Terminator, and then that Terminator turned into the second Terminator with the melty guy. I'm pretty sure that's all I remember, but I just thought that was hilarious. Anyway. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't collect anything like that, but it's definitely been around on random surfaces of my house. Should we go to bed? Should we answer more questions? 10:12. What happens at 10:12? Nothing really, I don't think. Let's keep going. What goes on at 10:12? Think about it. Your illusion of time, please. Mess up a chord, Don. to think of tarot. I like it. It's pretty neat. Had some real cool experiences with it. It's completely affected on how you feel about things. Which, of course, how you feel about it is how you're going to read about it. So it's very like, wow. So you realize you just start creating that too at the same time. I'll pull cards for myself every now and then. If you had a time machine, what's the first thing you'd see? Probably don't want to change anything. Yeah, I don't want to change anything. Let's see. I would see, man. I don't know. That's a tricky one. Okay, if I can just keep it to the span of this human experience and not to the infinite potentials of vapor lock, I would say, I kind of would like to see it when the Earth was doing some wild shit, you know, like Grand Canyoning and things, and like mountains springing out of nowhere, maybe a big asteroid. Just see what would happen, you know. It's gotta be pretty chaotic. No, yeah, that'd be interesting. Oh, best piece of life advice. Just do what feels right. Don't doubt yourself. How many best pieces can I add in there? Just a few. Because if you do what feels right and you don't doubt yourself, one, you're making a practice of not doubting yourself. So that's good. You're going to create faith in yourself, in creating your experience. You're going to manifest by doing that. But when you do whatever feels right, you always move toward, like, you might move towards something that's going to cause you some pain, you know, let's be honest. Like, nobody ever, like, intentionally got themselves in some shit. They just got themselves in some shit, and then all of a sudden they're like, why do I keep doing this pattern, you know? Sometimes you get yourself in some shit because you got to dull the pain. But ultimately, when you just do what you want, you might lead yourself into some shit, but you always lead yourself into some shit that teaches you how to do something. And so there you are learning how to then do it better, I guess. Not better, but do it less painfully. Do it more gracefully. And you learn to let some stuff go. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And then, well, that feels better to do it this way. And you end up moving towards a space of love, of acceptance. And then it just feels real nice. So do whatever you want. Life will sort itself out. Don't worry. I like it just, wait. I like it just to find out how many I see and think about. Oh, to see how many things I see and think about. I know, and you can get out there, which I appreciate that about you, because I can definitely get out there, way out there. It would be scary to be able to stand in one spot and see 10,000 years past the 30 minutes. That would be pretty wicked. If you've ever read Dune, excellent series. Frank Herbert got a little bit sketchy when Herbert's son took over with the other guy, but yes, you know, you got to finish out the series. And you need 3 more books of bullshit to jam in there. Like, you could do that. But it shows how that infinite, well, kind of that concept of, you know, standing in one spot and see 10,000 years pass, to have these guys of prescience where they can see into the future. And it's this whole breeding scheme. It's real sci-fi shit, you know. And so they get these prescient dudes that see out into infinite expanse, and they can't help but be on the path that they're on, knowing that all other options, not that they fail, but all other options just ended not the right thing, so they can't help but be in the moment. But it also shows this dichotomy of, you know, being a sentient being with infinite knowledge of everything for, you know, 4,000 years or something like that. And it just gets wacky. It's a good thinker, though, if you like thinking. Don. Read some Dune. Just read, like, if you like Dune, Children of Dune, like the first 4 maybe. You'll be into it, dude. It's cool. Just audiobook it and put it on in the shop when you're working. It's way easier that way. But you'll like the concepts of it. It's this massive structure. Oh, so good. Ooh, what can I do to get comfortable in my own skin? Just get in the mirror and be like this. This shirt unbuttoned, you're definitely getting the nip slip right now. Just do this in the mirror for a little while until you feel like you're laughing at yourself, because you're like, what the fuck am I doing? You'll be a little more comfortable, I guarantee it. I mean, you're a little more comfortable with yourself right now. That's good. Are you doing it? Are you guys doing it at home, everybody? Come on. Get them. Look in the mirror and just be like, man, you handsome beast. Or you lovely thing. Whatever you want to say. And then when you can't feel it, you know, when that hits from the mirror back, and you're like, ooh, that's not true at all. That's the place you go ask yourself, why would this not be true? And you find these old stories about yourself. Get it. Don, you better be doing it. Brenda's in. She's here to party. And Brenda, you feel better, right? I mean, who doesn't love a good nipple rama? Every morning? All right. That's what I like to hear. Keep that energy up, kids, you know? So that's the trick with that. Self-love and being like comfortable in your skin and things like that. Is when you're uncomfortable, choose how you want to be. Choose to feel like that. And then, like, I mean, if you don't like the uncomfortable, then go for comfortable. And then anything that pulls you out of comfortable is your work to do. You just go, oh, why would I make myself feel that way? Why would I be uncomfortable? You know, oh, you're fucking awesome. No, I'm not. Look how not awesome I am. Why would you feel that way? You get it. You're listening, jumping in the shower, Tyack, shower jams. Yeah. Don, now I know that you're naked. It's not that weird. I'm naked under my clothes. You guys are all naked under your clothes too. Rubbing your nipples, you weirdo. Okay. I'll play some music for Don because he's taking a shower. Played some stuff. There's some cute ones came out tonight, guys. I like that. The gas station lady called you a disgrace. We're in a small town. Okay. A disgrace? Hold on, what? Do you believe that the marital brain actually dampens consciousness? Okay, let me go to the disgrace. Look, small town, that sucks, right? There's a lot of neural mirroring going on there. You feel everybody's feelings, you know how they feel, everybody knows how you feel. It's real hard to change that. It's kind of the prophet is never received in his hometown sort of thinking. So when you change your energy to be something not a disgrace, say, no, this is not who I am. You learn from the pain of the event of the disgrace by saying, I am not a disgrace. And when you feel like, yes, I am, then you go for that one. Feel like, why would you feel that way about yourself? Here in this perfect moment. Or you're going to call me up for an emotional alchemy session. That's what we do. But, you know, I'm just here with you. Sarah, too. Oh, the lovely Sarah. She's so good. She is so good. I had some stuff coming up today, actually. From some really nice stuff some people said, and I found a really hard time accepting it, like what I'm talking about. And I was like Sarah, it's a busy schedule with Sarah and I and kids and things, and they live like not too far away, 20 minutes away. And I was like, we should do an emotional alchemy. I was like, I need you to do some emotional alchemy session on me. She's like, yeah. And I was like joking around. I'm like, we should do it on FaceTime. Like we normally do a session with people. And we're like, that'd be so fun, stupid. And then we were both like, wait, that's a good idea. We should do it like with each other over FaceTime, even though it's idiocy to not be together because we love that. But we're like, that's a good idea. We're going to do that. So I'm going to do an emotional alchemy session on my own bullshit feelings. Just to get that out, you know? Okay. Do I believe that the marital brain actually dampens consciousness? I think that's probably some like Indian traditions and things like that. I mean, what does that mean, marital brain? You know, like you can use any relationship in two ways. You can use it to say, you're making me feel this way, or you can use it as the gift of revelation to say, oh, why am I making me feel this way? Why would I feel that way about me? Like when my old shit hits from Sarah, I'll be like, oh, I'm triggered. This isn't anything I'm holding on to. I believe her into a different state of observation of me. Like, I don't accept the feelings within myself that are anything outside of perfection, because it's like a practice of love, and she does the same. So when she feels something in her, she reprograms the way her nervous system feels, and when I feel something in myself, I do the same. So it's like, when you have that level of mirroring in a relationship and you're using it to your advantage to clear this shit out and be more connected, I mean, why the fuck not, huh? But, like, that seems like a great thing for that, like, co-union, like, marital type brain thing. I think marriages can be tricky because, or like, labels on relationships can be very tricky, because then that label is dependent upon how the person feels about the label. Like, what does a marriage mean to me? And that's usually whatever was modeled to them. So you can easily get into these wounded trigger states because whatever was modeled to you was also the same thing that inflicted the pain on you. And so then you look for love and you look for companionship in the same energy that you know how to receive love. So when that energy hurts you, that relationship hurts you, to go to a space of, why would I be feeling this way about myself? Instead of, why are you making me feel this way? Because it's ultimately us and our perception. And then when we are omitting the energy of acceptance, because we are not putting any judgment out there to say, you're making me feel this way, and having the person feel it, it almost like draws them in to say, no. Like, help you regulate your nervous system. Like, no, I fully accept you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're in perfection in this moment. Like, you're okay. Like, come back to center. Come back to this moment. So you can use a relationship like that. Seems like a good idea to me. Marital brain blocking consciousness. And if that's not consciousness, I don't know what is. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about your lifelong friend. That's just a shit show. I found it's really helpful in grief, helping people through that or through my own, to do it right now. Anybody who's like missing somebody, who's feeling that, that void of how they felt. Yo, what's up, Brian? Good to see you. We're taking some grief right now. We're going to transmute it. We're going to feel it out. So take that feeling of sadness, of missing that person, whatever that hits in your body, in your gut, in your heart, whatever, of that loss in your life of personage, something you have grief about. And as you feel that pain there, that discomfort, remember back to all of the beautiful things this person taught you in how to be, friendship, how to love each other, how to accept one another, and allow yourself to feel those feelings of them and their energy of like how they taught you how to feel in that same space that was hurting. And it feels a little bit like they're there, because as energy works, we don't have to get that far into it. They are there in a way, because they're triggering all of the sensations of your body, of your nervous system, to feel a certain way, to create a particular set of neural reception that feels like them. You've never even touched a person. Your atoms are suspended in a magnetic field, so no matter how hard you push, I think that's when nuclear explosions happen, like, and then they go, nope, I'm going to quantum tunnel every one of these motherfucking photons out into the middle of nowhere, And then we have events like the sun and things when those hydrogen molecules get compressed so hard by this, ball of burning gas. But you've never touched another human. You've only ever felt their energy. You've only ever felt what their energy triggers within you, which is your perspective, your ego, your comprehension, which triggers the way you feel, because comprehension is a feeling. And so practice feeling them within you, feeling all of the beautiful things that they taught you, the ways that they showed you how to feel. And keep practicing that in that space that feels like they're missing. You honor their memory in that. You hold on to them, and at any moment you want to feel them, you can kind of feel that because you know how to feel it, because you're aware that you're having a feeling. Yeah, man. Yep, macrocosm in the microcosm, yep. The universe within, yep. Yep. Feel into that heart. Your subconscious sensations, that knowing, all the feelings that you then process through your egoic mind and say, that's what this means. Oh, that's what this means. I had a feeling. Here's the concept. All of those feelings, like 90% or more of your energetic experience, all those little concepts up there are the ego. That's the mind. Oh, I know that it's supposed to be this way. Dude, glad you're here, Don. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So that's the whole feeling your feelings. And allowing them to pass through, because a feeling is nothing more than a set of neural reception that'll go through in about 90 seconds if you just sit there and breathe. And you get to choose who you will be, and you get to train your nervous system to stay in a state of parasympathetic, which is basically like a backwards meditation. It's a bodily meditation. Heard about the solar flare? Nope, wasn't paying attention. So we got a solar flare. We had some rogue pocket of energy that created a nuclear explosion through a fission process of a hydrogen atom entering another hydrogen atom from the pressure of all of the atoms around them. It's the Big Bang of those particular photons. And that energy changes form. That hydrogen molecule breaks down, merging with others, spreading them out into other molecules with particular electron spins, blasting out little photons, vibrations, light. So we get the light all the time, right? It's a higher condensed energy. If there's a solar flare, it's a radioactive output. It goes blasting through space, in the cold, expansive space. No heat out there, mind you. Those photons are cold as rocks. Negative 473 degrees or something like that. They're just energy. And then they hit our atmosphere and it disperses it into different wavelengths. And then that comes vibrating down to us. It gives us all of the energy of plant life, human life, and all of this stuff. Because that energy cannot be created, it only changes forms. So you have to have a source of energy coming in for things to work. So, I don't know. Maybe you just got a little battery boost on the solar flare. It's like, zoink. I mean, there's better things to stress out about, is what I'm trying to say. Dude, super glad you're here. I'm sorry about the loss of your friend. Feel that friend. Feel every rad thing they've ever taught you. Just be like, here you are, motherfucker. Let them be in you. All the beautiful things they taught you. You got a boost too? Got a boosty boost? I guess so. Yeah, I definitely got more sunburn the last couple of days riding my bike around. I was like, when did that solar flare happen? Because all of those photons are, a different energy. It depends on the, not the waveform, but the actual like frequency of it, what level of epidermis it can penetrate down into. We have cold laser technology and things like that will vibrate atoms at a particular depth effectively. Vibrate atoms at a particular energy, and it's like this therapeutic thing that'll reduce inflammation and stuff like that, like within your body. It's pretty cool. It's a spectrum of like non-visible light. It's not a red laser. It's a different spectrum that the diode is emitting. Different spectrum being something like this. So if I turn off one of these lights, let's turn off this one. And I adjust the spectrum of light. Let me turn this up all the way so you can see. And I adjust it to a warm color, more like sunlight. it's a different frequency. It actually changes the waveform to slow it down. If I adjust it to a brighter, whiter color, it actually speeds the frequency up of the photons coming out of the diodes. That's a frequency, which is also a feeling, which is also an emotion, which is also some energy coming out of a solar flare that is deciphered through our nervous system and our meat suit in a certain way. Sometimes it burns you, sometimes it gives you energy. Is your third eye gland open? I don't know, maybe. Feels pretty clear. Never in my head. I'm always like in my body, just feeling it. So I mean, I definitely like sense stuff and feel things. I don't know. It just depends on what you look at as your third eye, your consciousness. Because that can be like very dogmatic in different like religious things. It's like, oh, your third eye, you're crustifying your third eye, and it's like you can't be conscious unless you do all of these little songs and dances and stuff like that. And all those songs and dances are just designed to create a different neural reception of different feeling in your body, whether that be, you know, waving your arms around and singing in church, or whether that be doing a breathwork class or some Kundalini Kriyas. It's all the same energy. It's all the same feelings. How do you escape ruminating thoughts? You gotta de-ruminate them. You gotta just look at that thought in the eye and just whack it in the neck, you know, proverbially speaking. You could observe your thought. You could say, look at me thinking this ruminating thought. You can move outside of the thought. Get meta on that bitch, you know? Be like, look at me thinking a ruminating thought. But no one's ever thought a ruminating thought that thinky, you know? Just have a little fun with it. And then all of a sudden you're like, not thinking about the ruminating thought. I would do that. Or choose to let it go in every moment. And then when you can't let it go, ask yourself, why can't I let this go? I can't let this go because of this feeling. Go into the feeling. Ask yourself why you feel that way. And then you'll get the feeling, which is created to the concept, which is creating a ruminating thought, which is ultimately an anxiety loop going out into the future, which ultimately it triggers your endocrine system to give you more anxiety. And it creates a loop, and then you're anxious. Can you keep this sound for more than 15 seconds, buddy? It's so soothing. Okay. He discovered the bowl of peace. I'll ding it. I'll ding the dinger with the ringer, guys. Does sound good, doesn't it? We're talking about energy. You hear that warbling? Thank you. You hear that warbling effect if I move it around the speaker or the microphone? Kind of long. Those are sound waves, which are ringing off, and if I hold it still, you hear a little oscillation, but not that like sweeping. So if it's still, it's vibrating this little wall at 433 beats a second. You can't see it because of the frame rate of TikTok in your camera. And your eyes probably couldn't differentiate something moving that fast. So when I ding it, it kind of settles out into that because it's mathematically proportional to create 433 vibrations in a given second. So that vibration works with this vibration because it spreads out and around, and then it hits itself in the middle, and it creates that like multi-tonal humming thing, which is really just your brain trying to do math and figure out what it's listening to. So what's happening here in this frequency, this energy, God, all of the things, is this little motherfucker is whacking all the air molecules around, and it creates air pressure. It's that energy that's shaking transfers into another form, and that air pressure whacks the microphone, wubba-lubba-dub-dubs on the microphone, and then that moving back and forth of an actual diaphragm transmits, maybe through piezoelectric effect, some it goes through an analog digital conversion process, and then the electrical impulse of the speaker going in and out gets converted to digital ones and zeros, gets beamed on another frequency, probably 5G, 5 million cycles in a second, very fast. And they get beamed in packets of digital information. Half of the information on the up side of the wave, half of the information on the low side of the wave, and because that frequency is so fast, they can transmit more data faster, which is why they like the 5G, because it's a faster frequency. And then that digital information gets reworked over into analog information, which is an electrical impulse, which then hits the speaker of your phone, shakes it around a little bit, and you hear a sound wave coming out of that phone. That's a frequency. You guys didn't see any of that shit going on, but you sure believe in it. You sure feel it. And your phone is very much like an ego. It's how it perceives the frequencies of all the things. It says, I receive data that is on the 5G network. I have this narrow lens of understanding. I have a narrow view on life. I have a narrow mind. I can only perceive this. Meanwhile, the electromagnetic spectrum is literally a big giant donut of all the frequencies swirling in infinite directions. More like an apple core. It's a magnetic flow of all of the information at once, all of the possibilities of atomic array at once manifest into a moment based on how you feel about it. You perceive this frequency as soothing. In the West, we have a Western scale of music. It's all based on that piano. You see that little thing gridded all out. Here's the white keys, here's the black keys. In the East, they have a much expanded scale of music. There's all these semitones. Sounds like when your guitar is out of tune a little bit. They were conditioned through their musical heritage, which is much more elaborate than Western music, to perceive half tones and tones we're not used to listening to as pleasing. And so when you listen to some traditional Indian music, you're like, whoa, there's some bendy notes there. Someone needs to tune their sitar, because you're just not conditioned to receive that information the same way. And just like the phone is the ego of the 5G network, your conscious mind and all your thoughts are the ego in how you perceive all of the feelings. This is a feeling. It feels nice. Yeah, you definitely get that vibe if you're from the East. What's it like listening to music on a Western scale? Where you're just like, these rookies. They couldn't play a half tone to save their life, which is true. You guys, it's 10:43, shitballs. It's past my bedtime, I'll turn into a pumpkin. It's been a pretty good one tonight. You guys feeling good? Did you ever your mind deconstructed enough to learn how to feel your feelings? You guys doing good? Nobody's checking in. Everybody's just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? That's good to hear, Kenny. That's good to hear. Get the black hearts. Still sad, but better. It's okay to be sad. It's one of those things in life that you feel. You don't have to be happy. Because when you accept it and you observe the sadness, oh, look at me being sad. And you're able to do what you want with it. But if you judge yourself, oh, I'm so sad, then you just keep being sad. Take those notes, and you're welcome for the energy share. I'm really glad to be here. It makes me happy to like feel you guys like having a moment. Because honestly, if everybody just got all went in here and stopped pointing the finger, everyone stopped fighting about stupid shit, you know? We could all just ding a bowl and play guitar. Utopia. There's always gotta be some bullshit. I think we could probably clean things up a little bit as we go, you know? Oh, the phone ego analogy. That's a long one, Kenny. I could die. I don't want to be melodramatic about it, but honestly, I've been out of tea for at least half an hour. Just really... Okay. Just last time. Oh. Man, I can't just... I was riffing. How am I supposed to remember what I said? Okay, effectively. Your phone is the ego of the network, or of all the networks of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, which is the entire network of energy, which 5G is just one narrow bandwidth of this like infinite array of possibility. So your phone is how it perceives the electromagnetic spectrum, which is all things, which is God, which is source, which is all the yada yada. Just as your mind is the ego of your experience and how you feel things, how you perceive it, or the energies that you feel moving through, which is the same as everybody feels. You perceive it through the lens of ego that it means this thing. Just like the phone only picks up a particular spectrum and blocks out the rest. We pick up a particular spectrum of how we've been conditioned and we block out the rest. So, does that work? Got me back in the zone, Kenny. I was in the zone there for a second. Really feeling that one. All right, kids. It's been fun. It's been real. Make sure you guys don't forget to drink your water, you know. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget to just love yourself and be like, you're fucking awesome. And then feel all those feelings that tell you you're not fucking awesome and figure out where they're coming from. Because then you get to be fucking awesome, you know? Who doesn't want that? You're welcome. You're welcome. And you guys have a wonderful evening and our morning or whatever the fuck. I love you all.